Hi Jess! I decided to try something a little bit different from my usual fare for today's video. Last night I happened to discover the music video for one of Taylor Swift's brand new songs, You Need to Calm Down. And I had a lot of fun watching it, and I also had a lot of thoughts about it. So I decided to talk to you. And besides that, I really had zero other video ideas, so here we go. First of all, I really wanted to preface this by talking a little bit about my own history with Taylor Swift and her music. I have really been a fan of Taylor Swift ever since early high school. I remember sitting in our computer room in my parents' house and watching her music videos over and over again. I just so identified with her music, with the stories that she told of the girl who just was longing for love and acceptance. I listened to all of her breakup songs whenever I was sad, and I was always writing her lyrics in my school notebooks. And then when I was in college, her album 1989 came out, and she officially transitioned to pop music, and I loved it. I bought the album, I listened to it on repeat about 20 times, and you better believe that I belted out those songs when I was alone in my car. This new Taylor seemed to have really grown a lot and come into her own. She sounded like someone confident in her own worth, someone who knew what to do with toxic relationships, someone who could poke fun at herself, and someone who knew that the hater's gonna hate and she just had to shake it off. And I think it kind of goes without saying, but I really admired her for that. Okay, now it's time to go and watch the music video if you haven't already. I've posted the link down below, so pause this, go and watch the video, and come back. You're gonna come back, right? Okay, I'll wait. And the haters gonna hate, baby. I'm just gonna shake. Shake it off. Oh, hey, you're back! As music videos usually seem to go these days, this video is both impressively and hilariously extra. Taylor seems to be living in a trailer park that looks like a truck full of cotton candy and a truck full of Skittles crashed and exploded over everything. And everyone is tasting the rainbow. As you saw, Taylor runs around with all kinds of different people and sings about all the people who seem to feel the need to hurl insults and complain about people they don't know. She starts out talking about herself, but the song quickly shifts to being very obviously talking about the LGBTQ community. And if you are watching, you'll see a lot of really famous faces in this video, and some you might even miss. Also, if you are a fan of Queer Eye or RuPaul's Drag Race, you'll probably see tons more familiar faces. Most of the characters simply walk around in their cotton candy utopia looking like they're happy and living their best life. But there are a group of people who keep showing up who are protesting and yelling and holding up signs with things like homosexuality is a sin and things like that. More on them later, I promise. And the video ends with a plea to sign a petition that supports the Equality Act. After I watched the video, a quick Google search informed me that a lot of people had plenty to say about this video. Even within the LGBTQ community, there were mixed reviews. Some people were really excited about it and they said, you know, we can always use another ally and this is great. But others wondered if maybe Taylor was just using Pride Month and all of the positive vibes associated with it to gain more money and fame. I read another opinion that said overall it was a pretty good thing, but they questioned certain parts of the video. They didn't necessarily like that she sung about herself and just thought that certain parts of it detracted from the overall message. And as you would expect, there were a lot of people from religious and or conservative groups who had a big problem with the protesters. I will admit, on closer examination, the protesters were a little cringy. They're all white, they all look a little scrappy, and they're all angry. And some of their signs are misspelled, which kind of indicates a lack of education. And they're just clearly a very narrow view of a much larger and more diverse group. That being said, however, brace yourself because you better believe I am about to defend my girl. First of all, I think it's really funny in sort of an ironic way that this song and video which are about disparaging comments that people make, yielded so many disparaging comments. Sort of like a weird vicious cycle kind of thing. T-Swift said it herself on Twitter. Anyone trying to twist this positivity into something that it's not needs to calm down. On the other hand, have you ever been told to calm down and then did you actually feel calm? I guess that's not really how it works, huh? So I just thought that was kind of a fascinating example of how our modern society works these days. Overall, what I think about this is we, the public, we can never know what Taylor's true motivations were because we can never assume that we know someone else's true intentions. But whether you love her or you don't, you have to admit that whatever it was that she set out to accomplish with this video, she did it. If she meant to make a catchy song and a crazy entertaining video that tons of people would listen to and watch again and again, it worked. If she meant to set herself up as an ally to the LGBTQ community and tell them that she cares about them, it worked. If she just meant to get lots of people to talk about her and her new album, it worked. If she meant to draw attention to the Equality Act, it worked. Or if she meant to create a piece of art that expressed how she was feeling about the current political situation in this country, I think it worked. Whatever you think about her, Taylor Swift is a powerhouse, a strong artist and businesswoman, and a huge pop icon right now, and she seems to accomplish everything she sets out to do. And it's one of the things that I really find inspiring about her. Now let's circle back to those protesters. If you live in the circles that I live in, chances are pretty good that you or those in your communities are not happy about this portrayal. I know that opposing same-sex marriage on religious grounds is not the same thing as making a sign and hurling insults at people who are just trying to live their lives. I get it. It hurts to see yourself represented in a negative way, especially when it doesn't feel like a fair comparison. But I would like to invite us, yes, I'm including myself in this, to see this piece of media in a different way. I would like to invite all Christians to use this as an opportunity for reflection and discussion. And to get the ball rolling on that, I have a few questions to think about, and these are things that I'm thinking a lot about too. What is it about this image that makes you feel uncomfortable or even attacked? Is it because you know that this isn't you? Or is it because you're afraid that this is how the world really sees you? Is there any glimmer of truth in this image that connects to how the church relates to the world? Are we doing enough to speak out against this kind of behavior? There are, in fact, people out there who claim to be Christians and claim to follow Jesus, and yet they make it their job to protest everything from concerts to funerals with very similar messages to those in this video. And if we have not done enough to communicate that they do not represent us, then we really need to get on that. Finally, if we decide that this is indeed an attack on Christians, and dare I say more specifically white, straight Christians, I still think there's another opportunity here. How does it feel to see a stereotype of your community held up in the public eye and to understand that people out there are judging you based on that skewed image? If it feels uncomfortable or painful, I would invite us, instead of fighting against it, to consider that this is how the people in the LGBTQ community feel every single day of their lives. If this is such an awful insult to us, then this is a chance to understand just a tiny bit how marginalized groups are made to feel, not just in the past, but now, today. This is a chance to feel empathy, to extend encouragement, and to make a promise to ourselves and to the world that we will do our very best to make sure that we never make anyone feel that way again. Jess, thank you for listening. I love you so much, and I'll see you later.